Hello and welcome back to another episode of Bevo Tech Pack on the FTOG server. So, last time we set up the mob farm downstairs behind the gallows. As you can see, it's been changed a little bit. We'll go over there and look at it in just a minute. But for those of you who don't watch the stream or get a chance to watch the stream, we put up this building here. And this is our power building. This is where all of our power generation is going to happen. So we got these 12 compression dynamos. Right now they're running off of gas. Yep, gas. And then we've also got set up refineries to make up ethanol as well. And for some reason that's not outputting. And then we also have these guys. These guys, we're going to definitely increase these guys because they just look really cool. And then for future episode coming up, I'm getting ready for some more nuclear craft stuff. So, and then we've got readouts on everything. So we have no power going in and out of the battery bank upstairs. And the battery bank looks like it's full. Reactor 1 downstairs. It's got no power in it, and reactor 2 is actually starting to fill up. So we have, I put in 4 of these 3x3 reactors down here, and these are mostly just to burn fuel up, not completely relying on these guys for power, but if we're getting power out of them, great, awesome, spectacular. Let's see, so we have those going, and then also did some work inside. Red Winged Dragon came over the other day and was helping me design these stairs out. So we got these stairs set up. They look a little wacky, they look a little... honestly, for the way they came out, I think they came out pretty good. If you look at them from up here, they don't look too aesthetically pleasing because it just doesn't flow with the walls very well at all. In my opinion, but being that this is a magical castle, it looks pretty good. I like it. It looks really good from down here. And my idea was to, from here, just go straight up. And he had the idea of splitting it off again, and it came out really good. I really like it. So he did a good job helping us out there. And then this is where our ME system is going to go at. And then there's a couple other floors above us as well. So we're going to start on the ME system today. And I'll show you this. Sparky actually came over, and it took him about 3 hours to get this to look better than what I had. So he came over and helped on it. It's actually got an actual functioning trapdoor here. If I can be in the hole right. Ha! That was funny. It's closed. Alright, come on, I can get this. The derps are real. There we go. So we actually have a functioning trapdoor on it now, and the gallow looks a lot better. Can't do the rope, an actual, rope and noose. Everything he looked at, everything I kind of helped him think of, wasn't looking right, or didn't work. Oh, sorry. And then Infernal's got tier 4 altar going back here as well. He's working on designing it from pretty much the inside out. I've got stuff set up in here to for whenever he gets ready and gets his building built, everything finalized. I'm going to set up automating the runes and connecting everything to the AE system as well. So that shouldn't be a problem. What else? I don't think we really changed anything else. Oh. He also brought over a hungry node. And he's currently feeding the hungry node. Got a nice little system set up here. So we're feeding that. He's not going to make a very big one, just kind of help the server out a little bit. And also I believe we've got the gateway opened up, and so he's upgraded a lot of stuff around here. The mana production still is not the best. I think he's working on a way to improve it. If not, I have a few ideas for him. And once he gets that done, I will automate the altar and the pedal apothecary for him as well. I could do the pedal apothecary right now, actually. But this needs the elven spreaders, which should work anyway. So, and then once he gets the hungry node done, that building will disappear because we won't need it anymore. And so then, yeah, then we're into here. We're going to go into the workshop for a minute. And this building is going to disappear soon, too. The workshop's going to get moved since we've gotten the AE system online. So, first thing I want to do is I want to make an energy acceptor. Some packs this is not needed, but I always like to make one to make sure that I've got one entry point for power and that's it. So, and I normally put a battery backup in front of this to make sure that this keeps getting power even if the system runs out of power. But we don't have that just yet because this is just temporary. This is first stage of our AE system, and then we'll upgrade it from there. So, we got our energy acceptor, and then we've got different bits and pieces that we need to make. Of course, we need to make some quartz fiber, which is just Certus quartz dust and glass. And then we make our Fluix crystals, and of course our Fluix crystals are made by charged Certus quartz, nether quartz, and redstone. You throw it in the water and it comes out. You get 2 for 1 special on this one, so you can get a lot of these pretty quickly. So we're going to grab up a few of these. And actually, I need to add more in here. Nope, that's right, okay. And that's right, I believe. If not, I need to get more iron. Okay. So these ME glass cables are pretty much 8 channels. It's what you basically use to run most of the stuff around your system at start, and then you can upgrade them later on to smart cables, and then you got your dense cables as well, which is 32 channels. And then of course you got P2P networks, which gives you an incredible amount of channels to use. So that's networking. So one of the basic crafting materials that you're going to need a bunch of is quartz glass. So we're going to make a bunch of this quartz glass up because we're going to need this all over the place later on. Then to grow some of the stuff that we need, we need crystal growth accelerators is what we need to increase the speed of growing pure Certus quartz, pure nether quartz, and pure Fluix crystals. And I believe it's like a 2 for 1 again on this one. It's you craft up 1 and you get 2 for it. So we're going to go ahead and make 6 of these guys. And I did run out of glass, and now I'm going to run out of iron. Did I have some more stashed somewhere? I believe right here. Yes. Okay. Can that please? Thank you. Alright. I still didn't have enough. Alright, come on. There we go. So now we got all 6. Now, we're going to step it up a little bit because those are slow. I mean, I could show you a big automated system to set these up and whatnot, and work it off of level emitters and everything else to use these. I probably will at some point set this up with level emitters, but at this point, so we're going to go ahead and jump to a little bit better, a little bit faster. Now we're going to take our growth chambers and make the crystal growth chamber from AE2. And this one we can automate and make this go a lot faster. Let's see. Then we're working on inscribers. Oh, to get charged Certus quartz, if you don't have a chance to get charged Certus quartz, you just make this charger. The charger is really simple, which is flux crystals and iron. And I know there's another way to make charged Certus quartz. Without the charger, and I can't remember off the top of my head how it's done. But anyway, so basically if you just do simple in and out system on here, like this is, throw your Certus quartz in here, it'll go through here, and it'll go back and forth and charge all the Certus quartz up, and then you're done. Easy. Okay, then you need the inscriber. The inscriber is set up like so. Some iron, a couple sticky pistons, flux crystals will make you an inscriber. Thought I had these all set up. Alright, so now when you're inscriber, you've got, this is where you use your plates at to make the different presses. I don't have one of the press lusters I don't have yet. We're going to go set some systems up upstairs real quick. And then we're going to get going on creating some pure crystals so we can finish making some more presses. But the way you set this up is, this is semi-automatic, which means you still have to do some of the work manually. If you're going to make the presses, you have to manually put the press in, but it will feed in the different types of ores, or sorry, different types of metals. Ignore that one. So you fill in gold and silicone for 2 of the presses. There should be a diamond in here as well. I don't know why it's not in here anymore. And then in here you get your printed circuits on top to automate the actual processors, and then you have silicone coming in from the bottom, the silicone plate coming in through the bottom. So all you should have to do is throw it in this chest, and it should process out all by itself for just the one press. Switch the plate out to the next one and just keep going. Now, you can have this loop back into this chest, but I warn you, you will get some cross placing in there if you're just trying to make the circuits, or the silicone plates. So my suggestion would be to put it into a separate chest, output it into a separate chest, and that way you don't have, you're trying to make 2 things at one time, so to speak. So it works a lot better that way. And that's basic automation of the inscriber. Now when I set up these advanced inscribers, I'm going to do C's Factory Manager, and I will do a video on it later, on how I set mine up. Because mine will be working with the ME system on a storage bus, so, and a lovely emitter as well. So I've got to finish testing it out after I get it built up, but it will work with the ME system and automatically craft presses as processors as I need them. So anyway. Yeah, but we don't need to have this here anymore. Can I have that, please? Thank you. So we're back here, and we should be making 8 more of these. And of course, I ran out of iron. I seem to have miscalculated all of my iron usage. And we're going to make a total of 9 of these advanced inscribers. So we're going to set up one silicone press for every one. We're going to set up, oh, that's the other thing. If you guys want to copy a press or a plate, all you need is a iron block, we'll just set one of these down. All you need is a iron block, and then whatever press you want to copy. So like the silicone, I'm going to need 3 of these silicones. So if I put this in here, it's going to make, see how fast that was? 0%. Did you just eat? What's going on here? You're supposed to be able to just put this in there and it will make a copy of the press, but for some reason it's not working. Yeah, see, it's just an iron block, and that should make, I don't know, maybe it doesn't work in the advanced inscribers. I'll have to make another one, another small one, but you guys get the idea. I don't know why that's being weird, unless I've got to power it directly through the ME system for it to work. We'll try it upstairs once we get up there. Take all of our extra goodies with us. Those can stay for now. Let's see. ME drive. Okay, so we're going to set up storage as well. I want to grab a couple of these guys. I'm going to get 4. Now we're not going to use all 4 of these, but I'm going to have them crafted up beforehand just so we can use them. We're going to take our illumination panels to make our ME interface, and the illumination panel is just iron, glowstone, redstone, and some quartz glass. Like I said, quartz glass, keep in mind, quartz glass, you're going to need a lot of it, so you might as well have a stockpile of it to start out with. And then that gets you a ME terminal. Now the ME terminal is where you can just interact with your storage, your ME system and your storage, and be able to see what's all in it. You can't craft anything with this terminal. If you take that ME terminal and put it with the calculation press that I can't make yet, put it with the crafting table and a calculation press, then you can make a crafting table with, or a crafting interface. And we're just going to take that terminal because we're going to need it. And then we go on to some of the auto crafting. Now some of this we won't be able to do yet until we get, I'll go over this after a bit. And then this is how you make, yeah, I'm missing calculation presses right now, and I can't do that until I make the pure Certus quartz. And to make the seeds, it's 1 sand per 1 Certus quartz dust, and that'll give you 2 seeds. So we're going to grab a bunch of these up. I don't know why I'm wasting my time shift clicking that. Would work a lot faster. Alright, so we are going to run to the tower. Do I need chests to how to make this a little bit more. Alright, so let's run up here. Alright, so first off, we are going to set up, actually first off, I want to Get rid of some of the stuff we're not using at the moment. Nope, you need that. Alright. So, first off, Tesseract. Now we have set up our system to where we have power going in one side and power coming out the other side of our battery, so there is always a battery. So I'm not so worried about our power problems here, or our power system here. So, and then again, this is also temporary. So we want power out, set frequency, and then receive only. And we don't want anything else out. So we got power there. We're going to take our energy acceptor. We're going to place that there. Oh, I needed to make some storage cells. I forgot to make those. Let's go make those real quick. Hey, come on. Alright, storage cells are in here. Okay, so we need to make storage cells. We're going to make 1K ones right now because simply that's all we need for right. We need bigger ones, but in order to get the autocrafting online to make it easier to make the bigger ones, we're going to start out with the 1K ones. So, to make the storage component, it's just some surge quartz. You can also use pure surge quartz on this as well to double your surge quartz, and that's what we'll be doing when we automate the system. Logic press and some redstone. So I'm going to grab 4 of these for now, and then we're going to stick them in here. And if you just leave it like so with some iron, redstone, and quartz glass, there's that quartz glass again, you will make the ME storage housing. I actually need to grab some more of this. And that ME storage. Now I lost it. Where'd you go? Okay, there we go. The ME storage housing you can actually use for different ones, all different sizes. If you want to just automate, say, part A, which is storage housings, and then part B would be the components. It works out that way too, and then you set up a third autocraft to craft everything together, or you just set everything up all together and make one big autocraft out of it, as long as you have these recipes in your system. So we're going to take our 1K storage and we're going to not make anything because we don't have any iron. Okay, so 1, 2, and then I made 4 of those. I didn't want to do that. Alright, so we got our storage drives. Run back up here. And we're going to slip these storage drives in. And the way you look at these is this one cell, this 1K cell, will hold up to 1,024 items, okay? Now, in that 1,024 items, there can be 63 different types, so 63 different stacks. And then it gets bigger. The amount of items gets bigger, but the amount of stacks or different types does not change. So you can either store one item in here by doing some fiddling with the system, or you can store just whatever you want, and it's pretty much just going to be whatever we want. But as you can see, these lights are off. We need to get power to it. That's where these flux cables come into handy, and that turns the light on. Now You can have up to 8 items on a network, which is what this will be, is a network. When you have more than 8 items on a network, you need to add in the ME controller. And I can't make the ME controller just yet, so we're just going to live with what we got. And then as we can see, this is our ME for interface. This is how we throw stuff in here. And as you can see, 31 blocks of iron. I come out and look at here. We have 12 items of one type. So that tells us that we have, that makes no sense. 12 items, 12 or 21. So that means, that conversion rate's a little bit different. They must have changed that. Yeah, they must have changed that. So the conversion rate seems like it's a lot more. Because if I put in, alright, so let's put a stack in. Now it says I have 16 of one. Not a whole lot of difference. So you can put a lot more stuff in there. There's a conversion rate there. I'm not going to do the math right now, but there's a conversion rate right there. So you guys can see how it's done. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Anyway, so we are also going to set up the crystal growth chamber. And as you can see, it's got power, and I believe, oh good, they fixed it, so this does sleep now. And then our inscriber bank. Which we will only hook up a couple to, because I don't want to overload the system. Can I shift please? Thank you. So now we should have power in here. If I take the silicone press, put the iron in, there it goes. It just needed the power from the AE system, not regular RF. So see, now we made our press. So I'm going to go ahead and, and then this is how fast this goes. We're going to put these guys in here, and they're already at 2%, 4%, 6%. So they go a lot faster in here. So I would highly suggest using the crystal growth chamber if it's in your pack, because it is a lot better. I do know on some of the older ones that I played on, this did not sleep, so it was always sucking power, but it seems to be doing a lot better now. So I'm going to go ahead and cook up those other presses. We're going to get a controller in here because we will need it. And then after the controller is set up, we will set up autocrafting as well. So guys, give me a minute and I'll be right back. Alright, so we got some stuff going again. Made some pure fluix crystals, I'm sorry, to make our ME controller. Now this is going to be our first one. Of course, the system will get bigger as needed, so that is something that we will look at later on. Also, we can make our crafting terminal, and we're going to need 2 of those because one is going to go into a pattern terminal. We also need to make some other stuff as well that I just remembered. That's all done. Okay, so then we need to work on a couple other things, which is the molecular assembler, which is some formation core, annihilation core, quartz, and iron to make an assembler. And then also we have a crafting unit that we are going to make some of. What am I missing? Oh, cable. I'm going to make 4 of these for now. And then I'm going to make 4 more of the 1Ks, and this will make the 1K crafting storage units. And then for extra giggles, we're going to make the co-processing unit, which is a crafting unit, and the engineering press, which I need that. And then calculation press, no, engineering press, I'm sorry. And that will make the co-processing, and I'll explain this in a second on how this works. So we have all of that. Can empty our bag out real quick for our extras. And then we need to look at the blank patterns, which is glowstone, surface quartz, quartz glass, see, you're going to need a lot of this, and iron. So we should be able to not craft up any of that because we don't have, oh, I want, yeah, that should be fine. We don't need to make a whole bunch of these right now. Can we make it now? Okay, so we can make 6, which is fine. It's a good start. Alright, so jump back upstairs. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to remove this guy right here. And then we're going to put our controller right here for the time being. Now, we have power going to it, so now we can have 8 items on a side for right now. We can have up to 32 if you use the dense cable. So, we are also going to take this terminal off. We are going to replace it with the crafting terminal, which I should just wrench those. It'd be a lot easier. Alright, so crafting terminal we'll put on, and also the pattern terminal we'll put on. So now when we look at this, we can see everything inside still, and we can also see our crafting window as well. And then this is where we make our patterns and where we store our blank patterns so we can make them into different things. Also, you have crafting patterns and processing patterns. So if you're working something through a machine, you want to put it on a process and you have to do it manually, whereas if you're crafting something, just throw it in the grid and it automatically does the output. Alright, so that's that part, and then I ran out of glass fiber cables. Can I go out, please? Please, pretty please. There we go. Alright. So, I believe I put some flux cables and I put 1 in there. Okay, so there should be more over here that I can craft up. You can never have enough flux crystal or flux cables and quartz glass because both of them are something that you need a lot of. And I think I'm going to be setting up some different stuff up here as well later on for ease of access. I mean, this looks good and everything, but I think it's going to work better for access. Now, like I said before, this is all temporary, so we're going to set this up a little bit different. Alright, so I did not make the ME interfaces, did I? See? There it is. I forgot something. I almost had everything. I guess I forgot the blank patterns too, but let's go make these real quick. They are here. Okay, so I want to make 4 of these ME interfaces. Formation planes, regular glass, and some iron. Really easy. We're going to make 4 of these. Now, with these, if we put them back into the crafting grid, it will make a flat ME interface, and that's what I want for right now. When I set this up, there's 2 different ways of setting it up, and I'll explain the difference between the 2. Alright, so I'm going to remake one of these real quick. Now when we set up our autocrafting, the 2 main components of our autocrafting is the ME interface and the molecular assembler. Now there's two schools of thought to this. One school of thought is you put your molecular assembler down, and then you can surround it on 5 sides, and then you put another one on this side, and then from the bottom you would put power, or however you set it up. So you have 5 sides, one side's got to have power, and then that way that one chamber will craft a bunch of different recipes. Okay, here's the problem. If you do it this way, and this is the way we're actually going to start out, so if you do it this way, you push everything to one assembler, and then it makes your crafting process slower. What I like to do is I like to reverse it. I like to put the ME interface on the inside and put the molecular assemblers on the outside. That way you've got 4 assemblers working one recipe. Now if you do a pattern, let's see if I can explain this good enough. If you do a pattern where you have your interface and your assemblers, then if you stick another interface here and then put your pattern again, so you'd have your assemblers again, now you're sharing a molecular assembler. And then if you diamond it again, so you would have interface, interface, assembler, assembler. Now you've got 4 interfaces, and you're also working with a lot more assemblers, if that makes sense. I'm going to set these up later on upstairs when I get more stuff gathered up. I like doing the diamond setup because you get more assemblers with less interfaces. But for starters, since we don't have a whole lot of stuff crafted up, and it was going to take a while to set all this up, I'm just going to do it this way. So we're going to have our interface here, assembler, interface, and I've got to change this because I want the interface here. So then we'll put our pattern here. Now I could add more onto this, and I don't know if I will or not, but I could add more to this system. And these are, of course, these are the big ones, and we can switch them around to the small ones like this. And as you can see, I'm sorry, that was the wrong one. We've got our small ones, and as you can see, they're just the same size as everything else. So it's more a matter of preference on those. When I do my crafting towers, I use the big ones. When I do machine attachments, I use the small ones. Alright, so now we need to work out some crafting, simple crafting. So we need to look at going back and getting some stuff, because I forgot some stuff. This will be the last thing, and then we are going to call it an episode. I think I'm just going to make the storage buses because I'm going to need storage. It's going to be the first thing I'm going to need as soon as I find them. Alright, so we will grab this stuff, and then we will also grab that stuff. Alright. Run back over here real quick. And there is a couple more terminals that we could use, but since we're right here next to everything, we're not going to use them. There's an ME terminal. I'm sorry, it's not that one, that one. Terminal, where is it at? Crafting terminal. Oh, the ME interface terminal, and that will allow you to remotely activate or interact with these ME interfaces. So that's something we're going to use later on. So we need to start with, that's the 1K, right? That's the one I want. Okay, so we'll start out with this that we, what? Not that one, you goober. Yeah, it's crystals. I don't have any pures on me. I'll change this out to pures later on. And see, when you have it set up to crafting, it will automatically craft them up or show what the finished product is. When you're on crafting, hit the down arrow, it encodes it, and then you simply just stick it into the ME interface. And then we will need also the creative storage, no, not the creative storage. We'll also need this one as well. We will craft one of these up. Throw all this stuff in there. Oh, I forgot one part yet, because we won't be able to craft that just yet. Okay, so we've got our pattern made. It's in there, but we can't craft it yet. If we go to try to craft it, it says no crafting CPUs available. Okay, so that's what this thing is right here, and we're basically, can I get back in there, please? Hello? Alright, so we're going to start off with the 1Ks. And as long as they're in a rectangular or square pattern, they will always change colors. You see how it's gray in my hand and darker on the ground? If you set these up, it's still gray. If I like put one here, they will all break up because it is not in a square or rectangular pattern. So I actually want to make a square. No, actually I can't make a square. I have to go rectangular. So we got our rectangular and then the coprocessor. So if you have make a crafting system that is, say, you want to make a crafting table. Okay, very simple. Wood planks, 4 wood planks makes a crafting table, right? Well, what if you only have wood? So now it can only do one process at a time. Whereas if you have multiple assemblers set up, it will actually craft the wood in one assembler. When you have it set up this way, wood in one assembler, and then we'll take the planks in the next one and turn them into the crafting tables. So that's what the coprocessors are. It's always a good idea to have at least one coprocessor. Now if you're running bigger storage, the bigger crafting ones, they go up to 64K, I would suggest having multiple. Depending on how big how big of a CPU you make with it, I would suggest having multiple processors on there, because generally the bigger ones is what you use for more complicated processes. So when we go back in here, we can click on craft. I want one and start, and as you can see, it just flashed in there, and now we have one. So now we can take that and add it into here, and it gives us our 1K storage device. And we're going to pick this one to throw it in, because I like to separate my stuff out. And then, as you can see, now we have the 1K storage drive. So if I make 4 more of these, 2, 3, and 4, put these 4 together, and we will throw them in here. There we go. Plain and simple, easy. Now we have a lot of storage for now, and we're going to start moving stuff over here and start working out of this system. So, guys, it's been an episode. It's been a great episode. You guys got to see a lot of new stuff. Got to see me put together the ME system for the first time, and like I said, this is very, very, very basic system. I will be, once we get some more supplies rounded up and get some more stuff built up, I will be expanding this system out, and I will show you guys some more advanced techniques to be using with your AE system. So, guys, until next episode, if you like the episode, hit that big thumbs up button, show me some support, show me some love. New to the channel, new to the series, hit that big red subscribe button so you can see some more. And as always, guys, any comments or questions, please leave them in down below. Until then, guys, I'll see you next time.